Welcome everybody to the FortiEDR Threat Hunting Module video series. This is video number 2 from the series where we're going to explore the event viewer and the forensics tab and what's the relation between those. If we go to the event viewer here, you're going to see a list of hosts. And by the way, in the event viewer, we've got two view mode. We've got the process view mode and we've got the device view mode. In the device view mode, you're going to see the list of agents and their statuses here, okay? And you can just expand the host you're interested in, and you can see the different events available on this host. On the process view, you will see all the processes regardless of the agent name, and you can just go ahead and deal with those. So what's the relation between event viewer and the forensics tab? Whenever you see an event on the event viewer, let's take this into as an example, the certutil utility. By the way, I've got here an example. I executed the certutil. Let's do it. If you execute certutil, it will be blocked. And as you will see, the FortiEDR solution is smart enough to do not overload your interface with the different events. So here it will tell you that we've got certutil as a single event, but I've done correlation for you, or I've collected all the related events related to this process in one single event. So as you can see here, we've got here 11 destination. So what makes the relationship between the event viewer and the forensics tab is this button. You can click on it and you are done. The events will be loaded on the forensics tab. You can start playing with it. So let's do it. For example, we can send this event on the forensics tab, or you can just expand it and choose only the events you are interested in. If you remember, we've got different destinations, different commands executed by certutil. So before doing so, let's explore the event interface here, or the event viewer interface. So if you click on specific host or specific event, we've got here a graph that shows the process hierarchy. Here it tells you that the SMSS, which is responsible for session management, started the Win logon. The Win logon, which is responsible for Windows logons and initializing the user profile, which will start the user init. The user init will load the user profile, which will start the process explorer.exe. And Explorer is the process responsible for loading the, if you will, the graphical user interface, the menu bar that you are seeing, the task manager, or the taskbar that you are seeing on your Windows desktop. And the Explorer.exe started PowerShell, and PowerShell started another PowerShell, which indicates that someone from PowerShell started PowerShell.exe in order to bypass the execution policy as we did in the previous video. And PowerShell.exe spawns certutil. Certutils try to connect to 9 different domains or try to do 9 connection attempts, and FortiEDR went ahead and blocked all those attempts. We've got here the geolocation in case you have a specific IP. Let's see, let's check those one by one. I believe you will see here a map. We've got at least one example, hopefully. Okay. No, we don't have such an example, unfortunately. But if we've got here this information, you will see the map here, and this map will tell you the country, the responsible, the provider or the responsible of that IP. For example, it will tell you this is google.com. etc. And the automated analysis, it will tell you what the Fortinet Cloud Services knows about this particular IP or process. Anyway, so let's now go back to, let's go back to the event graph. And here you can see that we've selected two events. Okay, let's say these two events, and we're gonna click the forensics tab, and those events will be loaded on the forensics tab. So even if we go here to the event viewer, the forensics tab will keep those two events. However, in the right corner here in the event viewer, we've got the classification details, how the Fortinet Cloud Service classified this event, the triggered rule that caused the event to be blocked, etc. We've got here the exception manager. The exception manager is nothing but a feature that allows you to whitelist some specific processes from not being blocked by FortiEDR. So let's go back to the forensics tab. And here we've got this particular interface that is represent the forensics tab. So let's talk in details about this tab, okay? Let's explore each single button. So here we've got switch to compare. So as you can see here, we've got two events. You can switch from one to another. If we click here, it will load both events. Here I will choose the second event, and here we have the first event. If we kind of go ahead and go to the connection section, okay, the connection section, we've got here the command line parameter that shows me that the CertUtil wanted to download the file from google.com, and here we can see that as well it's google.com, so it's the same. So here this particular button, it is used to compare two different events. Okay, it's very useful. We've got here the stack view that will show you the different stack, different loaded libraries loaded by the specific process, and it will flag the malicious event or the suspicious application with this red button or point. So here we've got the graph view. This graph view as well is very useful, and now it's interactive. It's not like the event viewer. You can click on it and get information related to it. Okay, you can, for example, click here on the CertUtil, and here you can switch from the different processes. You can know each information related to each process. You can here, for example, send this particular to the threat hunting profile, this particular process to the threat hunting profile, add it to the block list. You can, for example, come to this file hash, look for it on VirusTotal. You can send this particular process ID on the threat hunting module. You can look for each DLL on VirusTotal. You can block it. You can send it to the threat hunting. You can export the event using this button. You can, for example, isolate the host with single clicks. You can isolate your host if you feel that, or if you realize that this host is infected. You can remediate, which will terminate the process. CertUtil, which will delete the file from specific location. It will handle persistent data, for example, removing registry keys. If, for example, the malware created a new autorun registry keys, etc. So you can delete all the different artifacts or persistent mechanisms, like, for example, WMI events consumers or registry keys, etc., or schedule tasks, etc. You can retrieve the file for deep forensics. You can even retrieve it from memory, and this requires, of course, that this particular agent to be up and running. And you can add it to an exception, which means you can whitelist the host. This particular two buttons here, for example, we've got two events. If you click here, it will load all the 12 events, right? All the 12 events. Here, it will load only the selected event, which is really, really effective from, and it will make the interface as a user-friendly interface. So that's pretty much all what I wanted to talk about the event viewer and the forensic stuff and the relationship between those. In future videos, we're going to explore more practical examples where we will execute some known attacks and unknown attacks, and even we will execute some MITRE attack techniques using the living of the land binaries, which are nothing but binaries developed by Microsoft, available on Windows operating system by default, and we will see how the FortiEDR will deal with those attempts. Thank you very much again for viewing the video. See you next time.